I have seen it hundreds of times. Talented, wonderful musicians that show up at gigs and never get called back. Are you a musician? Have you been out there gigging? Are you just starting out? Well, listen to me. I have some tips for you. My name is Emilio, and I have been performing for over 30 years, and I have done thousands and thousands of shows. I have learned what to do and what not to do in the ecosystem of gigs. So I'm going to give you 4 tips to make sure that your gigs go smooth and you get called back. Number 1, timing and punctuality. This seems obvious, doesn't it? To be on time, but you would be surprised how many musicians I have known that show up late to their gigs. They show up unprepared and they don't start on time. They're rushing through the venue, sweating, chaotic, trying to get themselves ready to perform. People see that, the venue owners see that. Number 1, show up on time. Give yourself at least an hour to get ready. You want to make sure that you can get there in time to find parking, to know where you're going to set up, get your gear over there nicely, set it up comfortably, and then take a moment to breathe, be able to do a nice quick sound check and give yourself a few minutes to relax before you have to start. If you're performing at a restaurant or a coffee shop or a winery, then it also gives a little bit of time between people seeing you running around setting up your gear and starting to play. So it creates a little bit of a mystery. So, tip number 1, show up on time, be punctual. Number 2, volume chaos. You need to know how to have volume discipline, and you need to understand the venue that you're performing at. We're not always going to be the center of attention. Many times we're there to create an environment, to create ambiance for the venue. So if you're playing a restaurant, if you're playing a winery, if you're playing any type of venue where you are adding to the atmosphere, then you want to maintain your volume in a place where people can hear you, but you don't overwhelm their conversation. I've seen it way too many times. I'm sure I've done it early in my career where we think, hey, we're there performing, we're getting paid to perform. Well, yes, we are, but we're there to create an ambiance. So if you want to be the center of attention, then you're going to take away from the people's experience. So do your job, perform your music, keep your volume at a nice medium level so that people know that there's live entertainment. They can look over and see you. And if they're interested, if you're doing a nice job, then people will automatically be gravitated to seeing you. But don't try to stuff your music down people's throats, particularly in locations where people are trying to have conversations and they're trying to have a nice time with their families or their friends or their girlfriends or husbands, et cetera, et cetera. So volume control is very important. Number 3, appearance and professionalism. I don't know how many times I have seen musicians show up with dirty t-shirts, tennis shoes. Every venue and every type of music has its attire, and I understand that. I'm not suggesting that you need to show up in a suit and tie or, in a nice shirt every time. I'm a Spanish guitar player, so I dress like this for my gigs. Depends what you do. If you're playing a coffee shop and you're singer-songwriter, then perhaps, yeah, you can wear a t-shirt, you can wear some jeans. You know what you need to wear for your gigs. You are the artist. However, make sure that it's professional always. So if you're going to wear t-shirts, if you're going to wear tennis shoes, if that's your vibe, then that's fine. But make sure that it's clean, make sure that it's presentable, make sure that it's part of your uniform as an entertainer. It's important because the venue who hires you to perform is interested in having somebody there that is professional and that looks the part, right? So make sure you look the part, whatever that part is. Be professional. Now, as far as professionalism is concerned, I mean, that's a really long conversation, right? But I would suggest, again, make sure you get there on time, make sure your gear is in good shape, make sure you prepared your set list properly before you show up at your venue. Don't do it the day of the show or at the show, worse. Make sure you test your gear before you show up to your gig. You don't want to get there and see that your cables aren't working, you're making noises, you don't know how to set up your gear, you don't know how to break down your gear. These are all things that we're supposed to do beforehand, not the day of, not the moment of. Okay, really important. You don't know how many times I've seen that. Musicians show up, they have their cables in a bunch, they can't unravel them, their gear is all messed up, it sounds crackly because they left it out in the backyard and the sprinklers got to it. Take care of your gear. It reflects on you. How your music comes out, how your sound comes out is going to be a direct reflection on you. So make sure your gear is in good shape. Make sure you maintain it clean. Make sure you carried it in and out of the venue in a concise way. Get yourself some big Tupperwares or nice bags or something that you can bring the gear in and then pack it up and get it out of there. Venue doesn't want to see the musicians sit around for 2 hours putting their stuff together. You want to be professional. You want to show up, set up your gear, make sure everything works, be ready, do a quick sound check. That's another thing. Don't do a 35-minute sound check. Okay. That you need to do at home. You want to do a quick 1 minute sound check tops so you can hear the volume, so you can make sure all your instruments are lined up. If you have other musicians, if you have backing tracks, whatever it is that you're doing, be prepared to sound check it quickly, particularly if there's people there. If there's people there, you don't want to be sound checking and, oh, that doesn't work, and putting more bass or take away, whatever it is. Do that ahead of time. All right. Make sure that you prepare. And lastly, gear obsession. Pay attention to the venue that you're going to be performing at. This is an assumption that you bring in your own gear, not that the venue is going to be providing you gear. All right. So if you have to bring your gear, don't bring overkill gear. If you're playing at a coffee shop, you don't need to bring your gigantic speakers and 600,000 pedals. Bring what you need. If that's all you have, then that's all you have. But try to make sure your gear matches your venue. I'm not saying don't get out there and play a coffee shop if you only have gigantic speakers. No, you can still do it, but do it in a way that is more subdued. Maybe keep the speakers down. Maybe only put one on stands and the other one down so that it doesn't look overbearing. So it doesn't look overkill. Also, make sure your gear doesn't take over the fact that you're the entertainer. Don't let your gear upstage you. I'm a musician. You're a musician. We all love our gear. I love my gear. I used to have a van full of gear with hundreds of cables and too many sound systems that I would never need, and sound systems that I never used just because I wanted to be prepared. All of my gear now fits in the trunk of my car, and that's all I need. Nowadays, you can get gear that is very compact, that is very powerful, and you don't need much. Most of the time nowadays, you don't even need cables because a lot of things get connected with Bluetooth. I literally show up to my smaller gigs nowadays and I'm set up in 10 minutes. I get surprised, in fact, because I think I should be doing more. But no, I get there in time. I generally have 20 minutes to relax, maybe have some water, and then I'm ready to go. So keep your gear to a minimum, depending on the gig that you're playing. Of course, it depends the venue that you're performing at and the style of music. If you're a DJ, for example, then you want to have the speakers, you want to have the subwoofers. I get all that. But still, if you're a DJ and you're performing an afternoon set, for example, at a coffee shop, a lot of DJs do that, and I love that, by the way. Then yeah, then you want to make sure you keep it a little bit more chill, a little bit more down key. Don't think your gear is going to make you look like a better musician. When it comes to gigs, a better musician is a professional musician, a reliable musician. We all work really hard on our craft. We all work really hard on our music. But nowadays, the musicians that are reliable, professional, and that venues can count on are the ones that get booked over and over again. There's way too much competition out there, but the good news is that most musicians don't know this stuff. Most musicians have a big, huge ego and they think that they're center of the universe. And I've been there, I've done it, but now I don't. And they don't take the steps necessary to create a business out of their music. So this is what you want to do. This is why I created the M4 system, which stands for music, mechanics, market, and momentum. Within those four M's, I teach students how to go from knowing nothing to being out there and gigging and making money. So there's a system to all of this. All right. So I hope you're out there gigging and making some money and having fun. Don't forget to have fun. This is part of why we do what we do, right? It's to get out there and help people feel better, help people come together and enjoy our work and share our art with the world. Just don't forget to get out there and be responsible and be professional and make it good so that you can keep getting booked by these venues and you can keep sharing you, the artist, which I always love to see. I look forward to seeing you next time. Keep practicing, keep gigging. See you soon.